Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Yo, thank y'all for whenever it is y'all tuning into this, whether it's live, which we all live right now, or you make your way into this in the future. You just so happen to come across this. Um, we missed this last Sunday of going live. There was a couple things going on, and I couldn't do it. But I wanted to talk about inside of work and what that means. What that really means. And if you look into the description, you see moved by the spirit versus moved by the people. And there's a split that's clearly seen right now. Something I've been talking about as of late. If you tuning in and you already know about Purpose Served over here, we also have a podcast. And we've been talking extremely spiritual within the last 90 episodes, I want to say. And the biggest discernment that you could possibly get is seeing things through the spirit of God. And how do you come across that? How do you come across looking at things through the spirit of God? And it's a subtle, obvious way, and there's a certain direction that you have to go in. It's singular. Nobody can do that work for you, and it is solely up to you to do this work. The most important work that you could ever commit to in your whole entire life, to find the greatest good that you could possibly find in your whole entire life. And the direction is to be literally inside of you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. And you're not going to find that on the outside of you. No matter how hard you try, you will fall short. You're going to fall short. And the order that you must do this in, you have to be quiet within yourself and you have to be still within yourself in order to know what's what. And that's so hard to do in this day and age due to the fact of technology that we have access to. And it's so easy for us to be disconnected with ourselves and then connect with the world. What's going on, Brian? How you doing? Hope you're having a great Wednesday night. Um, but yeah, the most important thing that you can possibly do is do the inside work, not the outside work. That is the most important thing. And it's extremely hard and nowadays to really sit and be still and silent and observe what's going on within us because we've been conditioned to attach to everything on the outside of us, which is insane if you take a step back and like look at it. Because oftentimes, if you look really closely, a lot of things that we are conditioned to listen to, a lot of things that we have been conditioned to watch, it's been lying to us about how this world really operate. And all things is operated in the spirit rather than it being in the physical. But we're so conditioned to believe in what's in the physical that it totally it blinds us. It totally blinds us. Um, Lynn, thank you for putting that message in there. And I'm gonna read that out loud. And happy birthday to you, Brian. Um, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. God bless you as well. Thank you. That's very important to know. And that one person who came in the flesh from the spirit of God, um, showed us an example of how to walk that walk directly. And oftentimes, another thing that's very overlooked when it comes to price is how much time that he spent alone, and how often that he separated himself amongst the masses of people that constantly like surrounded him and prayed all night in solitude and direct communication with his father. That's a personal relationship. And this is the inside work that I'm talking about. That's the most important work that anybody can come across. Oh man, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Seriously. But keep doing what you're doing, Lynn. You're doing very, very important work. But that that inside work, recognizing that you have that light dwelling inside of you and living that out, emanating that out is the most important thing that you can possibly do in your whole entire life. And that's going to constantly keep you in this moment. It's not going to keep you in tomorrow or yesterday that don't even exist. Insane. It's actually pretty insane that we are constantly trying to think about the future and how to better ourselves and also ruminating on the past. And I just recently made a video on my YouTube channel in that regard. The video was called Genesis of a Troubled Heart. And it's pretty much talking about the where our heart posture is at as a society and as a people, and we love consuming darkness. And you got to think about this: if darkness is equated to death and light is um equated to life, all we are being conditioned and consumed like are consuming is straight death. And it's hard to see the life inside of ourselves that we must live out in this moment. That is so important. I can't like stress that enough. And the inside work starts with you being extremely honest with yourself and stop lying to yourself and living a false identity and living a lie, and telling people um to oh snap, oh man, we got a legend in here. Okay, Izzy. The homie is in here, man. What's up, Izzy? It's good to see you, bro. It's good to see you in here, man. But that doing that inside work is super important. And the purification of the mind and the purification of the heart is something that I've been talking about like crazy as of late. And like the one thing that you guys gonna keep hearing me say for the rest of this live is that you have to be authentic to yourself, and by emanating that light outwardly, you're gonna shine what's out there that's promoting straight death to us, death to our spirit, death to our soul. And not only that is causing us to be examples of other people when you are specifically one on one. No two snowflakes are alike. No two snowflakes are alike. And we are being conditioned to have like a mindset that's never in the present moment. It's always either, like I said, thinking about tomorrow or yesterday or thinking about the past and causing deep depression and deep regret. And there's something that I noticed that has been going on based off of what I've personally been dealing with a decent amount of people, especially like the youth, from talking to them and dealing with them. And the the number one thing that they all are battling is this mental health crisis. And I don't personally call it a mental health crisis. I call it a soul sickness because that's simply what it is. They got a sick soul and they need healing. They really truly need healing. And it seemed like nobody cared. But this is the issue that is going to present. It's just that they'll anywhere between like the next like the age group of 13 to like 25, in the next 20 years these people are going to be our leaders at some given point, and they being conditioned to not care. is actually kind of wild. Stuck into multiple realities rather than the most important one. Right now, facts, Izzy. That is straight facts. That is straight facts. There was something for me like playing basketball that I learned based off of that because that's a valid point. When Kobe scored 81 points, right? The most important thing that he was talking about is being in a flow state. I don't know if any of y'all ever even heard the term flow state before, but that's Goku on Ultra Instinct. That's probably another reference that you probably don't even know. But that's you being so in the moment that you're not thinking about what you're doing, you're not feeling about what you're doing, you're just being in the moment and you're so locked in. You are super locked in. And when he was talking about this, he knew unconsciously that if he started thinking about what he was doing and thinking about having 60 points at some point, 65 points, 70 points, or 40 points, that it was going to snap him out of it. And that he had to constantly just stay locked in the moment without thinking about it. And that's our problem nowadays is we think too much. And a lot of times our thoughts lie to us, and a lot of times our feelings lie to us. That that's the truth. And if you want to do the inside work, like I said, the starting point is you start telling the truth to yourself instead of lying to yourself and telling lies to other people about who you were, what you think you are, and where you think you're going when you truly don't know. And from you actually doing this work, your purpose is actually going to come. Your purpose is actually going to hit you. Seriously, it's going to become clear as day. You won't even have to question a lot of things. You won't even have to question anything, to be quite honest. You're going to contemplate things, you're going to reflect on things, but it's never in a way where it's going to move you off your square. And it's so easy nowadays for people to get moved off their square is because they don't know who they are from the inside. And just because you got a certain job title, just because you make certain amount of money and you did this, you had X amount of relationships and all of that, that don't necessarily define who you are. You're not your name, you're not your feeling, you're not your thoughts, you ain't none of that. So then after that, you gotta ask yourself, who are you really? Who are you for real? Dead serious. That's a scary question to ask yourself if you don't know. And that also goes to show how blinded you are to your own self. And why you most likely keep getting placed in situations that you don't like being in and make you feel less of yourself when it's all said and done. And why you keep falling in the same cycles and the same patterns because you have no idea who you really are. And it's layers to this thing that we're living in. And if you only seeing things with your physical eye, you looking at darkness. And you have to waken up your spiritual eyes. That's where it's at. That's how you wait are going to be able to see things a million miles away, as clear as day. That's how you're going to be able to see what people intentions and motives are by you clearing up your eyes and looking through the spiritual ones instead of the physical ones. Because you got a spirit, trust and believe. And that spirit is dwelling in your physical body. Is your physical body is housing your spirit. Your physical body is housing your soul. And a lot of the youth that's growing up in this world today, they they kind of got a sense of it, but they don't have like an exact way to get to that source within themselves because of how much lies get spewed out constantly every single day and every single hour, to be quite honest. And this is why it's important, right? If you want to get really, really nice at getting to know yourself, first off, you got to be disciplined. And when you wake up, the very first thing when you wake up in the morning, do not reach for your phone. Do not do none of that. Deal with what comes up as soon as you open your eyes. Deal with the doubt, deal with the uncertainty of the day, and also recognize that those things are simply just thoughts. And Get centered in. Get centered in before you even try to get up out of bed. Breathe. Take some deep breaths and sit there and observe what the thoughts is like going on without identifying with your thoughts. So if it's bad thoughts or even good thoughts, just observe it for what those thoughts are because you're not your thoughts, like straight up. And if you feeling kind of crazy, and even if you're feeling good, observe that as well and look at that for what it is. And that thing that's observing those things is really who you are. And that's the thing that is the light that's shedding that on the darkness, that's bringing that to the light as well. Now, I need y'all to listen to me with y'all spiritual ears and see me with y'all spiritual eyes to know exactly what I'm talking about. And then when your day and you're going through the craziness of your day, everything happening super fast, your day is just going, 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 going. By the time you get to your bed, um, and you right back to like resetting, make sure that you're not dead scrolling on your phone before you go to sleep and go unconscious, but do the same exact thing of observe what's going on inside of you. Think about this, right? Out of probably like the 12 to 18 plus hours that you're up, give yourself 10 minutes out of those like 12 to 18 hours. Give yourself 10 minutes instead of giving that to anything and everybody and letting anything and everybody consume you. Out of 10 minutes. And that's actually 5 minutes to be real with y'all is actually a long time to like do that. It may not sound like it, but a lot of people, when they get into that reflective mode of doing what I just said and trying to observe, you know what I'm saying? It's something in them that can't sit still. It's something in them that tells them that I gotta be doing something, but they don't know what they gotta be doing. It's something in them that tells them I gotta move. I can't do this. I don't like the thoughts that go on in my head. Soul sickness. There's a soul sickness. But yeah, just start with doing that. And the more you keep doing that, the more that you're going to start picking up things from an internal sense, and your antennas is going to start going off. You're going to be able to pick up on people vibes that you're going to like come across just like that. And once you get really, really nice at it, once you get like real good at it, you are going to be able to not be moved off of your square based off of how somebody else is feeling, even though you're going to be sensitive to it. And at first, it's going to feel like you got a weird vibe from them, and it ain't it. I don't know what it is, but they vibe ain't it. I don't know what it is. Listen to that, observe it, but don't be judging a person based off of the vibe that you also feeling, and also protect your energy at all costs. Because some people out here are some vampires for real. But by you being a light, you're going to shed it on the darkness that's out there, and we need people to bear that light, like honestly speaking, and from your soul, from the spirit. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. That's so real. That's super real. And not only that, Christ even told us when that time come, when them end times start coming, if somebody tell you to go over there, that's where you're gonna find God or Christ, don't go over there. If somebody tell you that it's over there and it's that person, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't listen to other people. And it's already built in you already as is. And it's something in you that you have to trust. You gotta trust. That's insane that somebody is more willing to trust other people rather than themselves. That really is crazy. Seriously. Um, the inside work is the hardest thing that you can possibly commit to. But once you do commit to it, you realize that you have nothing under control. Um, You have to surrender. You have to let go to any and everything, and it puts you in a real humble position. It also is painful. Ain't nothing about doing the inside work is easy. It is very painful. You waking up to yourself. You are waking up to the lies that you've been conditioned to believe. You are waking up to the truth that you have to live, and it's a pull. It's something about getting that calling from God that's unavoidable. It's unavoidable. And few amount of people walk that walk to the very, very end. A lot of people, once it start getting a little bumpy, they go back to their old ways of being. They go back to their old ways of living, knowing that it was a lie. You got some people, and this is majority of people that would never wake up to that fact at all and don't even want to like face that. They much rather go to different coping mechanisms that they're gonna find outside of themselves. And I'm only saying this based off of personal experience. Seriously. And it took me a while to come across this truth that's dwelling inside of me, that's dwelling inside of every last one of y'all that's tuning in right now. It's dwelling in y'all. And I would love for y'all to experience that because it's like no feeling in the world. It's like the best thing ever that nothing on earth can make you feel that sense of joy and that sense of peace. When you want to have peace in your life, like perfect peace, when you want that, or do you want to just live in a madness and live in chaos all the time, stressed out all the time over what other people are doing, what other people are thinking, and what's going on at your job, what's going on in your relationship? You want to live like that? That ain't it. It's not it. And surrendering and letting go, there is going to be an ease and a grace that's going to come up like over you. That's it's so hard to put into words because truly it's a spiritual experience. It's not physical. Ain't nothing physical about it, and it will change you. It's going to change you 110%. And the old ways you went about doing things and seeing things, it's going to totally change. Man, yo, that's the homie right there, man. Shout out to Izzy, like for real, man, for real. Always tapping in. I'm always tapping in with what you're doing too, man. But that that's a real one right there, man. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to Izzy's channel. He got some motion over there. Where he at? Um, but yeah, that's the homie. Tap into him. Tap in. Um, but keep pushing. If you are doing the inside work, it's going to be extremely hard for other people to be to understand where you're coming from. And it's not their place to understand where you're coming from because they're listen, there's two things that's very, very important to understand. And the within the last 10 podcast episodes on a Purpose Served podcast, I've been talking about this a lot. Like I've been talking about this a whole lot. And that's the greatest commandments that was given of loving the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your might, and all your strength, all your soul, and loving your neighbor like you love yourself. And if you look around in the world right now, you don't see that. You absolutely don't see that. With, to let you know that we are in a broken, dark place right now, truly. And we facing the wrong direction because we're not facing the creator who created all things. And when you want a relationship with the creator who created all things, when you want that, does that sound like enticing? But it's out there for you to have. And not only that, Not only is it out there for you to have, right? It's free. You don't even have to pay for it. You don't even gotta pay for it. What the? That's crazy. Don't store things. Don't store your treasures on earth. Store them within your heart, where it could deteriorate on this earth. Don't store it. Don't store it here. Don't look for things to store here. Don't look for material things. They depreciate over time, but you have to find the treasures that's eternal, and they come from the heaven above. That's also within inside of you. And the only way for you to see that clearly is by purifying your mind and purifying your heart. That's so important. That's super important. And you, the number one thing, right, that was said within those two greatest commandment is love. And it's not that fake, mushy, emotional love, but unconditional love for life and all of humanity. And when you truly love humanity for what it is, a lot of problems is going to disappear. You ain't going to look at somebody's race. You're not going to be looking at somebody's sex and all that nonsense. You're going to be looking at them as a human being that was made in the image of God and respecting God's creation. And a lot of people that do think like that, to be quite honest, is because they haven't accepted the truth within their heart. And they're most likely feeding off of what somebody else told them and got them to believe because they didn't do the inside work and they moved by people rather than being moved by the spirit of God, which is clearly two different distinctions. And that goes to show whether you're moving off the light or you're moving off the dark. Straight up. It's one or two. I encourage y'all to, like I said, start off your day 5 minutes and spend time with yourself. Spend some time with yourself and get to know who you really are. And I also encourage when right before you go to sleep to spend some time with yourself, 5 minutes. And if you have to, set a timer and don't go on your phone. Don't do none of that. But sit there, sit still, sit still, and sit in silence, complete silence. You don't need no music. You don't need no sounds to occupy the background to have headphones in and none of that. None of it. Silence and stillness is how God will communicate to you. Instead of you being bombarded by like noises, because the noises is a distraction that's keeping you away from yourself. And the more you keep taking these distractions in, you getting far, far removed from yourself. And you got something that's gentle, that's quiet, and that's a light at the end of the tunnel that's within you. And you have to use that to light up the darkness that's surrounding you from the inside out. And you will get wisdom and you will get understanding from this. I promise you. But it's not easy. It genuinely isn't easy. Like I said, it's the best thing that you could possibly do in the world. And also, if you do this correctly, you're only going to be shown one way. You're not going to be shown multiple ways. And you must live that one way out to the very end till you reach your expiration date. And by you doing that, guess what you're doing? You're serving your purpose. You are serving your purpose. And purpose is the reason why you're here and the reason why you have been created. And service is an action that you can take to contribute in the world. So one is an internal indicator and one is an external indicator. So your purpose is going to be internal, and the service that you partake in the world is going to be external. But within that, you're going to be balanced. You're going to be balanced, and you need the spirit of God in order to do that. 110% in order to know the right way to go. And that's the path that I'm encouraging you guys to walk down. The very narrow path that's only meant for you and nobody else. Nobody else. But that's what I wanted to come on here and talk about. The inside work. This is what the most likely, I'm not even gonna lie, I don't think I would have been talking about this past Sunday that just went by. I most likely would have been talking about something else. But going to previous lives that I was doing, talking about the passions and how the world is ruled by the passions. Everybody is attached to material things. And within that, they consuming death instead of consuming life. But that's all I got for you guys tonight. I thank all of y'all for tuning in. Um, Appreciate y'all, and I'm out of here. Y'all have a great night. If you want to hear more of me, just tap into the Purpose Served podcast. Um, we're closing in on 100 episodes, which is insane to me. Which is insane. But I'm encouraging y'all to serve y'all purpose because you have one. You have one. God bless. Y'all have a great night. I'm out of here.